at the same time and then hit the Facebook button and never hit the record button. Anyway, I'm now live. All right. Hi. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Coach Cariss podcast. I am Coach Cariss. You are listening to my very first weekly instalment of my 16-week body transformation series. True story. Every single week I'm opening up and I am giving you pretty much exactly what's been going on in my life in that week and how it has affected or not affected my fat loss. So I'm giving you the reality as opposed to the bullshit. Oh, you can do anything, let's just do some fat loss, it's not a problem, right? It's fucking hard, by the way. Not in week one. Week one is an absolute scoosh, right? But if you are going into a fat loss phase in midlife, right, especially after years of dieting, because I do meet some ladies that tell me they've been basically on a diet. It's like Julia Roberts out of Notting Hill. She's been on a diet for 20 odd years or whatever, right? But you haven't actually been on a diet. But if you want to change your body shape in midlife, or if you want to, like, your body composition, or you want to lose some fat, right? We need to go all in, right? It's hard, it's tough, it requires discipline, and it requires saying no to things when you really want to say yes to things. So I'm not here to bullshit you, all right? But also, we can do anything. Like, at our age, we can actually do anything that we want. We can change our body shape. We can join the gym, right? We can go for promotions. We can do anything that we want. But we've got to believe it. And I'm very sick of this, actually. I'm totally scunnered with people telling midlife women that, and it's because there's money to be made in it, right? That your metabolism is broken, you're broken because you've got the perimenal, your body is broken, your life is over. And the only thing that will help is the special menopause supplement thing, item, product, food, shake, vitamin, hormone that they're selling. Oh, it's just like grinding my gears, honestly. I know, like, life isn't over and you're not past your prime. This is literally the best time of your life. All right. Anyway, if you want to completely change your body shape, you have to actually want it, and you have to commit 100%, and you have to go all in. We cannot be dicking about, half-assing things and just expecting, what is it they say? You can't expect 100% result with 50% effort. This, my lovelies, is an actual true story. Right, so I'm going to share my stats, so my data, what I've been doing, my fat loss, my kilograms, my sleep, my nutrition, my calories, my macros, all of that lovelies, all right? However, I'm just about to finish this podcast, so Facebook Livers, thank you very much. The podcast link will be up very soon. Remember, if you've got any questions about anything midlife fat loss or health, just pop me a wee question in the comments or drop me a message. All right. Ta-ta. Right, podcasters, listen up, my lovelies. All right. The datas and the wins. So, current weight, macro targets, average steps for the week, all right? Excuse me while I just flick between about 90 million screens, all right? So, my, training-wise, I have done 5 CrossFit sessions and 4 30-minute cardio sessions, right? Now, that is a lot, and my body told me on Sunday that that was a lot, and that was actually too much because I had the vomit and nausea for about 2 hours. I was struggling to eat, which is actually not ideal after you've done a lot of training. And I just wanted to nap. Literally felt like I was exhausted, and I'm not even being dramatic. It felt like I'd done too much, right? So I spoke to my coach, because we all know we have a coach, all right? And if you have a coach, you could speak to me if I was your coach. And this is why we do weekly check-ins and stuff, all right? It's so we don't just go hell for leather for 16 weeks and then in week 5 we're like in a big black hole and we can't get ourselves back out of it. We're underfueled, we're overtraining, etc. All right, but I had to try it. I had to see what I could add into my 5 CrossFit sessions, right? And the answer is not 4 cardio sessions at 30 minutes each with a heart rate of between 120 to 130. All right. Again, this is new for me. I've never done cardio training other than like going for a run. But then when I was young, I used to do that just to purely ease the guilt of drinking wine and burn calories. So this is all new, all right? Hence why I have a coach. Anyway, so I spoke to my coach because I do CrossFit, right? CrossFit is pretty much lifting weights, but there's also a lot of cardio in it. Not cardio as in please go out for a 5 mile run or please go out for a 10K cycle, but there's lots of different things like there's shorter runs. We've still got cardio machines. There's kettlebell swings, there's double unders, there's burpee box jumps, there's loads of different things, all right? So this week I'm cutting it down to one cardio session, so one 30-minute cardio session, steady state cardio session. 2 of the CrossFit WODs that I'm doing will take up 2 of my cardio sessions, and then I'm going to do an extra 10 minutes of cardio, all right? Now this is purely to burn calories, all right? Steady state cardio, purely to burn calories. So that's my training for last week, and we've had a slight tweak for this week, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about. My coach is also ecstatic that I even bothered to tell her that I was struggling, because it means that if I tell my coach that I'm struggling, my coach can help, and then the chances are I'm going to stick for the 16 weeks. So that's the whole point of the exercise, all right? Calories, my average calories were 1,860. Now I'm saying an average because I have different calories for days that I don't train and calories for days that I do train, right? This is because I am doing body composition. If I was coaching midlife women for their fat loss, you would have the same calories every day, all right? So my average calories is 1,860. I have my goals are 145 grams of protein every day, 185 grams of carbs every day, 70 grams of fat every day. Right? Banging. Not a problem at all. It's not been easy, but it's been fine. I actually quite like the discipline. So hitting 145 grams of protein, I've been coming in round about 140. All right. So it's been fine. It's not a problem. I have been focusing on my protein for a good couple of years now, so I could actually do it with my eyes shut. And it's the same with the fat. All right. We need fat, ladies, midlife ladies. We need to eat dietary fat. All right. It transports all the nice vitamins everywhere that it should be. But that's also what makes food tasty. So I have no problem hitting fat. Carbs, that's another story altogether, all right? I have never really paid attention to my carbs. I eat carbs, I eat bread, I eat pasta, I eat rice, I eat potatoes, I eat vegetables, I eat fruit, all right? I do eat fairly healthy, but I've never had a carb goal before. So I would say my average carb goal, I'm aiming for 185 grams a day, right? And I haven't been hitting that. I've been sitting at about probably 135 to 150. And again, this is a learning curve, so I'm going to practice this more this week. Daily steps, my goal was 13,500 per day. I have been doing 13,825 on average per day. All right, so that's a scoosh. However, it's not really a scoosh because I've had to add in an extra dog walk. Wee Jasper's loving it, obviously. But I have got into the habit of when I come home from the gym in the evening at 6:15, sorry, I just put Jasper's lead on straight away and we just go out and do a loop of the park, which is about 1.7 kilometres, but that is enough to get me over the 13,500. I can do anywhere between 10 and 12,500, no bother, right? It's fine between my job, walking about the house, setting my alarm for my laptop so that I get up and walk about the house, and Jasper's morning walk. It's a scoosh. So this has required a little bit of brain power. All right. Hydration, 4 litres of water daily. There's days that I've hit 3, there's days that I've hit 5, all right? I have no issue drinking water. It's not a problem at all. It's a doddle, actually. My sleep has not been great, and this is partly because we have moved into a new house, and I know I have hardly mentioned it. I don't know how you missed that. And the house is actually melting. It's like a roasting. So we are adjusting slightly. However, I have had a couple of naps. Well, I've actually napped most days. And my scale weight, right? Obviously, the effort that you put in is the effort that you get out, all right? My scale weight has dropped from 72.1 to 69.7. All right. Now, there has been fluctuations. It's 72.1, 70.7, 70.7, 70, 70, 69.7, 69.3. So my average for the week is 70.7. All right. This is why we take an average, ladies. So we add up the 7 days weigh-ins and divide them by 7, and that's you got your average for the week. All I'm aiming for next week is to get next week's average lower than this week's average. That's it. All right. However, for those of you that are super duper duper quick, you will be aware that that is a 2.4 kilogram fat loss, right? First of all, it's not fat. Most of it is water weight, all right? Also, some of it is just bloating because because of the discipline, I've increased the quality of the food. So I've been eating less shite, basically, less processed food. So that is why, if you can see my transformation pictures, my stomach looks substantially flatter. All right, my body does not deal very well with highly processed foods, or a lot of highly processed foods, and nobody really does. And that's where bloating comes from. So just purely increasing the quality of your food, making sure you're getting your water in, sleeping well, and eating nutritionally wholesome food most of the time will make a massive difference. All right. So 2.4 kilograms, it's not body fat. And that will not happen every week. Like 100%. If that happens every week, I am fucked. I'm going to be starving. All right. It's not cool. So that's all the stuff that went right. Everything did kind of go to plan. What didn't quite go to plan, or what I didn't anticipate would take it out of me so much, was adding in 4 extra cardio sessions. Right now, bearing in mind, I can quite easily cycle half an hour 4 times a week to the gym and back. So I thought it would be more of like I was just swapping that cycle of the gym and back 4 times for 4 different cardio sessions. But I honestly thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to vomit. It was that bad. So that was probably the only not win, or a bit of a fuck up. But you've got to try these things, right? You've got to try it. It's like when all my clients come to me and I'm like, right, I want you to eat 2,000 calories. And they're like, oh my God, I can't eat 2,000 calories. And then it's split, right? Some of them will actually try it. And guess what? They can eat 2,000 calories. Some of them won't try it. Pretty much uncoachable. Not cool clients, all right? You've got to want to change, my lovelies. And you've got to accept the fact that if you're paying a coach, chances are they probably do know a wee bit better than you, and you're paying them for their knowledge. So you really need to give it a bash. If they're a decent coach, they will totally get it and support you through that journey. Yeah. So that didn't go perfectly. The other thing that I'm not particularly happy about is I'm back weighing my cheese, right? And standing weighing 20 grams of cheese and only eating that 20 grams of cheese is shit. It is literally one of the biggest dramas in life. I kid you not, it's absolutely shit. Anyway, I did it. Because why wouldn't I? I only had enough calories for 20 grams of cheese and I want the result. So I need to cut great and eat the 20 grams of cheese. But Jasper still gets his cheese tax. So Jasper's not getting neglected just because I'm weighing my cheese. But it's actually the biggest drama out the whole 16 weeks. I feel it's going to be the biggest drama. Because at some point also when my calories get cut, I'm going to need to cut the grammage of my cheese, which I'm not very happy about. There's nothing I can do. I literally have a choice, right? If you can't change the situation that you're in, you need to change your attitude towards it. So I'm working on my positive attitude that I don't actually need extra grammage of cheese, even though I want it. I don't need it. All right, I'm trying to be an adult. That's the biggest drama at the moment. All right. Anyway, and also the gym, right? I've spoke about the gym. But quite often what can happen is when we increase our training, we can be slightly under recovered, right? So if I'd done all that training, which I did, but also filled my body with shit and also didn't drink my water and also didn't sleep, right? I would have sent myself back by about 4 weeks. So I managed to get myself out of it after a couple of hours. All right. I actually forced myself to eat my lunch. I had 2 slices of toast, 4 slices of ham and 3 scrambled eggs on top of it. And I literally sat on the sofa and forced myself to eat it. because I knew that I had to get fuel into my body to ultimately make me feel better, even though I felt like I was going to vomit. Anyway, I didn't vomit, so that's a win. And then I also had 2 squares of dairy milk because my husband, the awesome Cal, swears by chocolate for nausea, and it was fab. So it was very nice. Anyway, sleep and stress, my lovelies. All right, you need to manage your sleep. You need to protect your sleep, and you need to manage your stress, because if you're not managing your stress, or you're managing your stress in an unhealthy manner, drinking wine, sitting on the sofa scrolling, right? That's not managing your stress, by the way. That's just blocking shit out. It's not going to make you feel awesome. All right. And the whole point of deciding to change your body shape or get fat loss or whatever in midlife is to feel better about yourself. That's the whole point of doing it. Absolutely. So the biggest thing, right? I said this at the very beginning. The biggest thing, excuse me, we'll have a drink because I've been chatting for a long time. The biggest thing about midlife fat loss or body composition and just want to change your body shape, right, is that you can't actually half-ass it. There are so many coaches, so many influencers, etc. out there on social media, right? And they'll just post the good stuff and they'll just be telling you that it's a fucking scoosh and they'll make you feel like shit, or you'll feel like shit because you failed, right? It is not easy, right? Fat loss, the process of fat loss, the science behind fat loss, dieting, right, whatever you want to call it, right, is simple. It is literally a fraction. I can't remember the word. Why can I never remember that word? It's not an algorithm and it's not a fraction. Is it an equation? Can't remember. Anyway, it's one of them things, right? It's scientific. It is simple, right? But it's not easy. Don't get simple and easy confused, all right? It's actually simple. Formula, that's the word. It's a scientific formula, right, of how we work your calories out. It's actually got a name. I can't remember the name neither, but it's a formula, right? It's dead simple. You just input the figures and it spews out the little figure at the end, which is your daily calories, right? And then you just take a wee, you just give it a wee deficit, right? It's simple. But it's not easy, especially for midlife women, because we can be a bit emotional and we can be a bit dramatic, hence the cheese drama, all right? But you're never going to get the body shape that you want, that you dream of, that you are happy with, that you love, if you're only going to put in 50% effort. If you're going to half-ass the goals and the diet and you're going to do it Monday to Friday and you're going to go out partying every Saturday or drink a bottle of wine every Friday night or go and get a takeaway because you're hungover on the Saturday because you had a bottle of wine every Friday night, right? You are never actually going to get there. That is actually half-assing it, right? And it's not cool. You should still be socialising, definitely. Although I dare say when I get to the last 4 or 5 weeks, I'm absolutely not going to be socialising because I'm going to have not very many calories and sometimes it is easier just to say no. But at the beginning, you should absolutely be socialising. Do you need to go all in every social event? No. But you need to learn how far you can take it without it impacting your results, all right? But if you're constantly looking for loopholes, if you're constantly looking to cheat the system, and if you're constantly listening to I'm listening to my body, right, and skipping the gym when you're not in the mood, that's not your body you're listening to, by the way, that's your lazy ass bitch brain. And then letting the weekend completely wipe out all your progress, right? You're dicking about. You're absolutely dicking about. So you need to own your choices. You need to decide if you're going to commit. And if you are going to commit 100%, all in. All right. I am doing this over 16 weeks. I have set a time limit because I know that how easy it is to let it run away with you and just to half-ass it and just to say, oh well, do you know what, it doesn't matter because I'll just choose to delay my goals this week and then I'll get back to it next week, right? And ultimately we don't do it because when we fall off the wagon, it's fucking hard to get back on the wagon. 16 weeks. I work very well to a deadline. I have discovered this about myself actually in the last couple of years. I work very well at a deadline. So I'm giving myself a deadline. 16 weeks. Because it works for me. You need to find out what works for you. And also, sorry, some of my clients are doing it as well. They've put a 16-week deadline. All right. So I messaged them all and told them what I was doing and asked them if they thought having a deadline would help them. So there's about 6 or 7 of them. It's amazing. Lovely. Right, anyway, so if you're sitting listening to this and you're feeling a bit shit, right, and you're feeling a bit stuck, and you are maybe realising there's a little light bulb going off, that you're half-assing your own goals, right, and you're actually dicking about, I want you just to listen to this, and I want you to remember that you can't actually do more than you think you can, but you need to commit. What I would like you to do today is just draw a line in the sand and decide today that you are going 100% all in. Stop sitting watching everybody else smash their goals and you feeling like a failure, because we don't want that to happen, all right? So a very select few of my lovely followers have signed up to my MailChimp community, right, which is basically an email. You'll get 1 to 2 a week, nothing else. I won't stalk you, all right? But it has everything in it. So it's got like the kind of food that I've been eating, all the data and stuff that I've been sharing. So it's got that in it. So if you would prefer to read the updates, then just I'll put the sign up in the show notes. I just need your email address. That's it, nothing else. You can unsubscribe anytime you like. All right, so just click the links in the show notes, or you can follow me on Insta. I'm on Coach Cariss on Instagram and Facebook. To be fair, Coach Cariss. I'm also Coach Cariss on YouTube and Spotify. I've made it like super easy for you, just to give me a wee follow on the platform that suits you best. Because I want you to I'm having an amazing time. This is the last 16 weeks of my adventure, all right? This has been a 2.5 year journey. Changed my body shape. I've got stronger. I've lost about 30 pounds of body fat in total. And I've built myself some muscle as well. And do you know, more importantly than the scale weight and my body shape, right, I feel that I've found out who I am, and I actually quite like her. I think I'm fucking hilarious, and I don't really care if anybody else does. That's probably why I quite like myself now. So I do like myself, right? I'm also on Substack as the 58 Project, right? And on that note, there will be a second podcast this week because, in case you've managed to bypass every single thing that I've ever said, I moved house 5 weeks ago, all right? So, and it's connected to, the reason that we did it was connected to a goal that I've had because my dad died when he was 58, hence it's called the 58 Project, all right? But part 2 of this story is, drum roll, my mum, who is 79, right, actually is moving on Thursday. It is super exciting. We're going to be 10 minutes away from each other as opposed to 45 at the moment, all right? My mum is in a little isolated village, which is amazing, and she's been up there. She went up there with my dad 33 years ago. So this is my mum's adventure, 79-year-old, right? And she's just taken her life in her own hands and been fucking awesome. She's an absolute fucking legend. So if you want to follow that story, there will be another episode in the podcast. Coach Cariss, Itchy Bitchy and guests coming very soon. Lovelies, thank you very much for listening to my chat. It's much appreciated. I wouldn't have the job. I wouldn't be doing the job that I do and love so much if you all didn't follow me, like my posts, subscribe to my podcast, etc. It is super duper duper appreciated, all right? Remember, the link for the MailChimp community is in the show notes. Thank you very much, my lovelies. I'm wishing you all a super top day. Bye-bye.